with no other details, someone who's a legal permanent resident getting disappeared with no information. That's it. We don't need to know anything else. That's insane, and that should scare everybody, dude.
Getting to the Colombia protests and the immigration arrest that took place, the ridiculous arrest that took place.
The immigration arrest of a former student activist at one of the country's elite universities is causing an uproar. A judge has ordered that Mahmoud Khalil should stay in the U.S. until a court hearing tomorrow. Khalil is a Palestinian from Syria with a green card allowing him to live in the United States. He's accused of anti-Semitic activity in last year's student-led protest that paralyzed the Columbia University campus. Lilia Luciano has more.
Where is Mahmoud Khalil now?
Protests erupted in New York City Monday after last weekend's arrest of Columbia University activist Mahmoud Khalil.
Our movement is very, very large.
Khalil, who was a graduate student at the School of International and Public Affairs, was a prominent voice among the pro-Palestinian protests on campus last year. He had been briefly suspended for his role in the demonstrations before the school reversed its decision. Trump administration officials have said Khalil was arrested in support of the president's executive order tying his participation in the protest, which demanded that the university divest from Israel and called for the end of the war in Gaza with alleged anti-Semitism and support for Hamas.
Any resident alien who commits a crime is eligible for deportation.
But Khalil's attorneys say their client was wrongfully detained, saying federal agents incorrectly thought he was in the U.S. on a student visa, then arrested him anyway after learning he was a lawful permanent resident and were preparing to deport him until a judge temporarily blocked the order. Ramzi Qasim is a member of Khalil's legal team.
The Department of State and the Secretary of State do not have the power to revoke green cards. Only an immigration court can do that. Mr. Khalil has committed no crime.
Fellow protesters who know him deny Khalil did anything wrong. How did you meet him?
Being in the encampment, I met him several times, and he's just a very sweet guy, soft-spoken. I see him equally supporting Palestinian students, Arab students, Jewish students.
And student protesters told us Khalil's arrest has already had a chilling effect on free speech.
We've been really over-monitoring ourselves and our speech right now. Trying our best to just make sure it's not hurting any of our peers who are immigrants in any capacity.
According to ICE's detainee locating system, Khalil is being held at a detention facility in Louisiana. His lawyers, who say it's very unusual for him to be moved to another state, have filed a motion for him to be returned to New York.
For the record, they did move him to another state exclusively because they were judge shopping and they knew that the Louisiana judge would be easier on the erroneous claims being made. That's why they sent him down to Louisiana. The entire purpose of this process is to create a chilling effect on speech. That's it. That's it. They want to stop you from protesting against Israel. They can't, but they will try to do everything in their power and erode the constitutional protections in the process to try to stop people from saying Israel is bad or Israel's in the wrong. We see smaller versions of this in the deplatforming efforts against all pro-Palestinian content creators from people who shamelessly defend Israel. The denaturalization is like the last step of this process. The first step of the process is, one, lying, consistently smearing anti-Zionist activists and claiming falsely that they are anti-Semitic. The second part of the process is to then go after some of the easier targets, like people that have less legal protections overall, something that can tie along with the agenda of the administration that's coming in. For example, immigration. So then you go after student activists that are on a student visa.
His wife, a U.S. citizen who is 8 months pregnant, said in a statement that she wants him free, so he is, quote, holding my hand in the delivery room as we welcome our first child into this world. Hail.
Lilia, thank you.
A little later.
We're going to talk about Mahmoud Khalil. Okay. I don't know if you know who this person is.
I think I saw what happened.
Yeah,
they
you're
completely,
fucking woke.
They completely just disappeared a guy.
Yeah.
He had a green card, right?
Yeah, so Mahmoud Khalil is a Columbia University student who is a
I
who
love
has
freedom.
Who has a green card.
It's cool. It's cool that protesting, these cocksuckers that we're talking about, it's so pathetic. Everyone was talking about, And I get so pissed at fucking comedians who were pretending that like Trump was going to be the free speech candidate, you fucking morons. And now they're just fucking black bagging essentially a guy who was protesting. It's fucking pathetic.
Yeah. And it's like, what's been crazy about it so far is that they broke in. Initially, they thought that he was on a student visa,
right? Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, he has a green card actually. Fuck it, black bag him regardless. They didn't tell his lawyer or his wife, who is an American citizen, who's 8 months pregnant.
Oh my God.
Where he was, where his whereabouts were. They immediately took him out of the state into New Jersey and then quickly sent him to Louisiana because they judge shop. And there's like a judge there that they consider is more, racist.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh, Louisiana judges will allow us to deport him.
Yeah.
Apparently they also threatened to arrest his wife and that sort of thing. There was another student protester, a student activist who was with the UAW that they also tried to nab as well in the process. But they basically kidnapped this guy, okay? And what's been interesting about this is they're not even like trying to make up a good reason for why they did it. And they're just simply saying like, nah, he was protesting Israel. That's not allowed.
Which is fucking nuts, dude.
Which is fucking insane. Exactly.
This is the point where it's like, we can't even pretend anymore. This is fucking straight up. We're not on the route to fascism. This is it. And if they're not even pretending, it's almost worse to not try and have, like, at least George Bush would pretend there was some legal reason to torture people. They, at least Dick Cheney would get on the phone and be like, tell them it's for this reason. Now they're just like, no, we can fucking do it.
Yeah,
we're so fucked, dude.
Completely psychotic, and their defense of it has been like abysmal overall. Where there's reporting that's coming out that first of all they're talking to the Free Press. White House official told the Free Press, which is Barry Weiss's institution.
Oh, that's great. That dumb bitch called it the Free Press.
Yeah. Yeah.
The not lying newspaper.
Yeah. Which, so free, where they actively work to if you're anyone of Arab descent, their entire goal is to make sure that you never get a job ever again.
God damn, dude.
So White House official told the Free Press that the basis for targeting Khalil is being used as a blueprint for investigations against other students.
Other students for protesting in fucking America. You pieces of shit.
Protesting in America, not even against America, by the way, against a fucking foreign country, which is psychotic. Anyway, Khalil is a threat to the foreign policy and national security interests of the United States, said the official, noting that this calculation was the driving force behind the arrest. The allegation here is not that he was breaking the law. So they openly are just saying, like, they're openly admitting he's not even breaking the law. We just don't like that he is critical of Israel.
That's fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah, and the state so far the State Department has not publicly disclosed the specific evidence on which it based its decision to order the arrest of Khalil, who is a green card holder. The INA provision explicitly says people shall not be excludable or subject to restrictions or conditions on entry into the United States because of their past, current, or expected beliefs, statements, or associations. If such belief statements or associations will be lawful within the United States, but it allows for an exception. If the Secretary of State personally determines that the alien's admission will compromise...
Personally?
Yeah.
Who made this cock? Who is it? Is it Rubio?
Well, I mean, I guess they're just like giving a lot of extra power to the head of the State Department. If they are like, yeah, this one guy, I don't like his fucking vibes.
That's nuts.
Yeah. And the Board of Immigration Appeals has said that under the provision the State Department is using to detain Khalil, a letter from the Secretary of State conveying the Secretary's determination that an alien's presence in this country would have potentially serious adverse foreign policy consequences for the United States.
Just off vibes?
Yeah. Just off fucking vibes in general.
This is fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah. I think it's a wild admission. This is from Zeteo News that they're just actively saying, like, he didn't do anything. He didn't like violate any crimes whatsoever. 13 representatives have signed they've come out and made a statement officially saying
13, that's it?
Yeah, I don't know why.
That's
14.
fucking nuts.
But they closed it apparently before they could release it. I don't know why it's not like an open petition.
This is fucking pathetic. If the Democrats can't even do this.
Because like AOC and stuff were not on this. The 14 Congress members who signed the letter. But like there are Representative AOC's chief of staff confirms that the letter was still open. She would sign it. But basically, 14 of the 535 voting members of Congress, including Palestinian American Representative Rashida Tlaib, have signed a letter calling on the Trump administration to immediately release Mahmoud Khalil. They warned the administration's illegal actions set a dangerous precedent and shred constitutional rights to free speech and due process.
Yeah, hell yeah.
This is like, what I find very interesting about this is that, like, obviously, one of the things that like AIPAC and the Israel lobby does very well is basically, move in the direction of like violating Constitution, like the First Amendment, for example. But they don't do it like this outwardly.
Yeah.
Even though like they've quietly been able to lobby Congress and state representatives to basically to make it illegal to protest against Israel in like 36 states
so
at this point,
pathetic.
which is crazy. Whenever I talk to any American, doesn't matter what their opinions are, motherfuckers who think like all Arabs are strapped with a TNT to their vest. When I say that, they go, "What the fuck do you mean it's illegal to protest the state of Israel in 30 plus states?" So it's one of those things that like AIPAC gets away with because they do it quietly. This right here directly is happening in broad daylight. Like this very obvious shredding of the First Amendment and numerous other laws really is happening in broad daylight. And I think that this is going to make people go insane.
Hopefully, that's the scary thing. If this doesn't, what the fuck will?
Yeah. And it's interesting because like the White House is like typing out shalom while they're talking about like this is dude, if you're a Nazi, this is your heyday.
Yeah.
Okay. You literally are just like, see everything we've been saying.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got the White House writing shalom when they're talking about fucking deporting an American legal permanent resident. Like it's psychotic. You know what I mean?
Insane, yeah.
It's like,
well, Trump's got to build the fucking Riviera, dude.
yeah, I think it was Noah who said something like, hold on, let me see if I can find it. Noah tweeted about this where he was like, this is like a David Duke fantasy that the White House is just like actively contributing to, where it's like, hold on.
It's fucking insane, man.
Yeah. What is this? Where
and just this fucking guy. It's like, first of all, protesting and freedom of speech, it's like, you should be, that's the whole point of this fucking country. Is you can say whatever the fuck you want and the king can't fuck your ass.
You can literally.
That's the whole point.
That's the other side of this. Like, you could literally be like, Hamas is fucking awesome. And
you should be able to do that. That's the whole point of a free society.
Yeah. What are we doing here? Where
and it's like, say Nazi shit. I agree with it. But like, the whole point is you should be able to say horrific fucking shit. Not that we're saying this is horrific, but it's like,
you can say
protest.
Horrific,
that's the whole fucking point.
Yeah. You can say horrific shit. And then other people can also say horrific shit back to you. But like the federal government is not supposed to literally arrest you. That is the whole point.
The entire idea.
It's not a violation of the First Amendment when like private enterprise decides like, oh, you can't fucking, say this or whatever. It's shitty. And it certainly covers back speech in the avenues where you can use your speech. Right. But you can't as long as the federal government doesn't go, hey, we're throwing you in jail for saying this. And it's a thing that I don't like you saying, then, that's still technically in defense of the First Amendment. We've completely dropped that. Yeah, tamping down on anti-Semitism by cutting NIH funding, National Institute of Health funding, and explicitly saying it's because of Israel is something David Duke came up with.
For real. Yes. Yeah. And now when everything gets worse, they have they're setting up a couple boogeymen right now.
Yeah. And this is happening at a time when, like, obviously people are not too fond of Israel to begin with. Like, even Republicans are not super hot on Israel. And they're like the one group that remains that is like unconditionally dick riding Israel into oblivion, like the evangelicals, right?
Right. Because they think God can only come back when Jews control that part. Like, it's so nuts how much of our foreign policy.
It's like fucking anime.
It's like, fucking stupid, dude.
Yeah.
But yes. I do agree.
But them like slapping fucking shalom every time they do some shit like this.
Why are they doing that? That's nuts.
Like, I don't understand it. I genuinely don't. I think he's just like, they're just flexing, I guess. They don't give a fuck if like people see this and go, oh my God, this is like incredibly, this is it. Jews are actually control the White House. Like,
is that literally the fucking plan? I don't understand this shit.
Yeah.
This is fucking nuts, dude. This shit has gone quick. These motherfuckers are not wasting any fucking time.
Yeah. One of the other sides of this is that like the Democrats looking at the situation that will absolutely not just stay to like, you know, people of Arab descent, but will extend to,
of course,
anti-Zionist Jews as well, and then all minority groups eventually when they feel like different groups are fucking being annoying to the Trump administration, are doing a horrible job fighting against this. Look at this shit. This is what Chuck Schumer's response was, which is psychotic. Like, this is the most psychotic response of all time.
The fact that it's 3 paragraphs.
Well,
the fact that it's not "this is insane" or just something is crazy.
Yeah, no. He Felix had some choice words for it, which I'll get to in a second. Okay, but he goes, "I abhor many of the opinions and policies of Mahmoud Khalil."
That's where we start, you fucking piece of shit. You start with talking about him being a fucking asshole?
Yeah.
Are you fucking out of your mind?
This guy's a real terrorist.
Oh my fucking
Trump
God.
is right. He has hurt the feelings of Israel. And
my fucking God. We're so fucked. It's insane.
Yeah, and have made my criticisms of the anti-Semitic actions at Columbia loudly known.
Anti-Semitism in the first fucking sentence? When a guy gets fucking disappeared in America?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Mr. Khalil is also a legal permanent resident here, and his wife, who's 8 months pregnant, is an American citizen. While he may well be in violation of various campus rules regarding how the protests were conducted last year, that is a matter for the university to pursue.
Oh my God.
Like,
this motherfucker went beyond states' rights and went university rights.
Yeah.
This is a matter for the universities.
It's also fucking psychotic because, like, none of what he's saying is correct. The entire purpose for why the student activists chose Mahmoud Khalil to represent them is because he is, like, the most balanced. Like, he doesn't like pop off or say anything that could be misconstrued. Like, a lot of student activists have been very good at messaging discipline in an effort to not give any sort of not to give any sort of fucking leeway to like people claiming that they're being anti-Semitic. And what's incredibly frustrating is, and I know this fucking personally, obviously, from all of the people that claim that I'm also a vicious, rabid anti-Semitic Islamist fundamentalist, Hamas, Hezbollah supporter, or whatever the fuck, is that you don't have to really say anything. All you have to say is that you're against Israel, that you are anti-Israel, that you're an anti-Zionist, and that's all it takes for these guys. But at this stage, they're not even trying to fucking clip chimp my man. They're just basically saying no, he's a vicious anti-Semite. But also, he shouldn't be deported.
But like the fact that this is the opposition,
the
opposition, like this motherfucker should be saying how this is illegal and that Trump should get arrested if they do this. That's like, they should be talking about how they're tearing up the Constitution, not starting with talking about how bad student protesting is for Israel. It's so fucking pathetic.
There's like validity.
Even if you believe that, right? Even if you fucking believe that, it's like your job is to fucking provide some kind of opposition to these people. And no matter what you do, you're not allowed to fucking just kidnap a permanent resident. You're not allowed to do it to anyone, theoretically, but definitely not a guy who's here on fucking, legally.
On a green card. And he's then he goes on to talk about pathetic, I've encouraged them to be much more robust in how they combat anti-Semitism, maintain harassment-free campus that protects the safety and security of Jewish and other students. The Trump administration's DHS must articulate any criminal charges or facts that would justify his detention.
Oh my God!
Give us a reason, please.
Please, Daddy. Please don't let me be. Please
give us a reason as to why you blackbagged this dude beyond the fact that you don't like his vibes.
Oh
which
my
I agree.
God!
I don't like his vibes either.
He's a weird guy. He's giving me the ick.
Yeah, I don't like his vibes either. But like, please tell me why it's appropriate.
This is so fucking.
Please tell
pathetic,
me why it's appropriate to fucking blackbag this guy.
We want to suck your cock. Can you just fluff it for us, Mr. Trump?
Like,
I'd love to choke on your nuts.
Unacceptable levels of capitulation. It's just like completely psychotic.
God, I fucking hate him.
If the administration cannot prove he has violated any criminal law, justify taking the severe action as doing it for the opinions he's expressed, then that is wrong. It took 3 paragraphs. It took 3 paragraphs to get to like, it's just wrong to detain him. Like, this is literally worse than if Chuck Schumer just like stood quietly.
For sure.
They are violating the First Amendment protections we all enjoy. You should drop this wrong-headed action.
I mean, if this isn't proof that the Democratic Party's done, I don't know what the fuck is.
Felix
they're
said,
just completely done.
Yeah, to which Felix responded, I've seen a lot of very qualified defenses of Mahmoud Khalil from libertarians who are opposing this solely on legal grounds. Ann Coulter had a fucking better statement about Mahmoud Khalil than Chuck Schumer.
Pathetic.
Okay? How
Pathetic.
fucking psychotic. Like Ann Coulter
Fucking
was like,
pathetic.
Ann Coulter literally came out and was like, I've never seen a motherfucker I don't want deported.
Yeah.
I
I love
I
deporting.
flick my bean to
I
deportations.
love when fucking other ethnicities leave America.
Like she literally was like, but it seems like this is just because he's against Israel. Like that's what she said. It's crazy. None of them took this much time to express how much of a supposed anti-Semitic rule breaker they find him, as Chuck Schumer does here. Fucking astounding. The other side of the story, of course, is that a member of Chuck Schumer's caucus, obviously, the recipient of a heart attack, brain concussion gun that turned him conservative and pro-Israel, John Fetterman, worked with a sex offender to effectively enact the most restrictive and draconian speech laws in the entire Western world. One of the people involved in the kidnapping of Khalil was Ross Glick. Have you seen this fucking guy?
No.
Brace has been around him in the past. He's like some rabid freak from an organization called Beitar that openly and actively say they're Kahanas, which is like used to be considered a terror group by fucking Israel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh
like,
my God.
That's how fucking freak like these dudes are, that even the Israeli state was like, we love killing Palestinians, but you
Like,
guys
come
are a
on,
little
guys,
too
chill.
invested. Yeah. And this fucking neo-Nazi terrorist, okay, that does like that actively and openly does this like doxing operation that is now saying that they're working with the Department of Homeland Security to create lists of people that are on student visas that are criticizing Israel. Like that's what they're doing. You got these rabid ultra-Zionist freaks creating lists of people with names to go and tell the fucking fascist government who to deport. How do you not see the irony in this as an organization that calls themselves a Jewish organization? Like, how do you not put two and two together? I don't
Governments
know.
of the state knocking on doors and saying, any Palestinians here?
Yeah.
Any Palestinians on visas here? And the fact that they're like, even those guys are like, well, at least they have to have visas.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's crazy. Like, this guy it's on a fucking green card.
Yeah, and he appears to have a close working relationship with Senator John Fetterman. Ross Glick, a pro-Israel activist who previously shared a list of campus protests with federal immigration authorities, said that he was in Washington, D.C. for meetings with members of the Congress during the Barnard Library demonstration and discussed Khalil with aides to Senator Ted Cruz and John Fetterman, who promised to escalate the issue. He said that some members of Columbia's board also had reported Khalil to officials. This unfolded very quickly because it was obvious, Glick said in an interview Monday. Everybody was upset. He recalled of his meetings in the Hill. The guy was making it too easy for us. Yeah.
So fucking ridiculous, man.
His website prominently features a fake legal notice informing visitors that he is not a convicted sex criminal. Yeah. Public notice and legal warning. Upon information and belief, false and defamatory statements against Ross Glick have been posted online in various sources such as New York Post and Palestinian News Network.
The New York Post.
Yeah, the New York Post is
against
this guy.
The New York Post says this guy's a fucking pervert.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Well, it takes one to know one. You know what I mean? Like they were just jealous of his revenge porn operation.
Was that what he was doing?
Yeah.
What a piece of shit, man.
Yeah, this is the New York Post article. The disturbing story behind New York City's revenge porn perpetrators.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
Ross Glick.
I mean, he looks like such a piece of shit.
Yeah. Cool stuff overall. The Beitar USA account is insane. No, I know. They are just like, our wars with Gaza, not Hamas, the people of Gaza. It's crazy.
Just saying it, man.
Oh, yeah. No, they just, and the Department of Homeland Security is working with them. Like, at the behest of a foreign nation. Like, what are we doing, bro? What are we doing?
This is so fucking pathetic. This is so fucking like, aren't they smashing the turbo button a little too fast? Doesn't it feel like they're gonna run out of NOS pretty soon?
What I don't understand is how these dummies have deluded themselves into thinking that these guys who keep saying America was founded on Judeo-Christian values are not going to turn around and be like, just kidding. It's just founded on Christian values, dumbass. Like, what do you think happens to you in that situation? You know what I mean?
Something cool.
They're going to be like, ooh, let's seize the assets of all these wealthy Jews. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's coming. That's the next step here. And it's so weird that these dudes are like, nah, we'll be fine. Like,
yeah, I mean,
it just doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, I just think, are they even thinking about that, or are they just like, what we have an opportunity to finally steal Gaza? You know what I mean? Like, to kill everyone. Like, are they even thinking about that?
Yeah.
Or do they just think like, eye on the prize, let's, you know, especially these Beitar fucking freaks, are they like, let's finish this genocide, we'll
they're a
figure it out.
501c3 registered nonprofit that takes tax-deductible donations, by the way.
Blood in God. We demand, I mean, these are fucking
and this is in response to, these are the names of the Palestinian babies Israel killed before they reached their first birthday. Unfortunately, it's likely an undercount. And they're like, no, we want more of it. We want more baby blood.
Jesus
it's like,
fucking Christ.
Dude. I can't think of a worse way to just look at like thousands of years of anti-Semitic propaganda.
Yeah.
Like Beitar coming out and being like, no, we love drinking the blood of children.
It's so fucked
is
up.
like an insane fucking way to operate. Like, it just doesn't make any sense when you're just saying like, nah, all the blood libel actually that has fucking historically caused pogroms we are going to take ownership over it and say it's real. We're doing it.
We're going to treat it like the N-word and reclaim it. We're going to treat it like it's going to be cool to do it now.
It is straight up. It is straight the fuck up. Like, just the purest fantasies of a David Duke style person to behave like this. And the administration is leaning into it, which is also wild.
Yeah.
What is this? Free all the hostages have been tortured, starved, raped, beaten, and still in tunnels in Gaza by Hamas since October 7th, 2023. That's what he quote retweeted the Senate Judiciary Democrats with.
Insane.
2 minutes ago.
What the fuck are we talking about, man?
I hate this fucking
You're a
piece
fucking
of shit.
U.S. senator.
No, he's just Felix calls him the golem.
What did happen to this guy? What happened to him?
He got hit with he had a fucking aneurysm, dude. That's what it is. And it like unironically made him pro-Israel and incredibly fucking conservative.
It's crazy that a fucking
brain damage.
The
dude.
one time a Turk should have won, I guess. I didn't even know anybody's politics. Of course, I was against Dr. Oz for Turkish reasons, and I had no idea what Fetterman stood for. But I guess
probably would have been better.
Even Dr. Oz would have been better.
Here's House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries' statement on Mahmoud Khalil. Once again, doing the same thing that Chuck Schumer did. Mahmoud Khalil is a legal permanent resident whose wife, an American citizen, is 8 months pregnant. Okay, starts off strong.
Yeah. But still,
to the extent his actions were inconsistent with Columbia University policy and created an unacceptable hostile academic environment for Jewish students and others, there is a serious university disciplinary process that can handle the matter.
Who gives a fuck? Like, who gives a fuck, you fucking idiots?
It's just like, dude, first of all, you have no evidence for this. Like, you're just fucking making shit up, okay? Students protesting at fucking Columbia campus, especially a campus that historically has had to right the wrongs of the way they treated their student protesters who were on the right side of history during the fucking Vietnam War. It is psychotic to turn around and be like, yeah, this time it's actually a severe violation. They should be not deported, but like they should be kicked out of the university. It's like fucking bullshit.
He should be kicked out and maybe go to jail, but this is too much.
Yeah, but in America, in the context of the arrest and detention of Mahmoud Khalil, the DHS must produce facts and evidence of criminal activity.
That's what they're begging for. They're literally like, please.
They're like, please
give us an out to support you.
Yeah, please give us a reason for why.
Even if you believed this and you were good at politics, you would understand the opportunity you have to make these people look like fascists, which is what they're doing. Even if you were just a cynical politician that was like, that does love Israel, you could be like, well, but we could nail fucking Trump here if we talked about how un-American he is, and we can get libertarians on our, like, but they're not even fucking shrewd enough to do that, or they're too scared. I don't even fucking know.
You know, both parties are unimaginably invested in dick riding Israel into oblivion, and here are the fucking results. You got smarter Republicans who are using the Israel conflation with anti-Semitism as an opportunity to do insane harm, as an opportunity to just completely erode what remains of the fucking First Amendment in this goddamn country. And the Democrats are championing it, or at most, they're basically being like, just do it by process, please, sir.
It's fucking pathetic, dude.
Yeah.
It's just so fucking crazy. Just with no other details, someone who's a legal permanent resident getting disappeared with no fucking information. That's it. We don't need to know anything fucking else. That's
Yeah.
insane, and that should fucking scare everybody, dude.